Welcome to the fascinating world of traffic signals. Today we are here at El Dorado and Metro Park Place, and we are prepping up this intersection for new mast arms. Still, I'm about to start working on this cabinet, getting it wired up. So let me get right into it. Let's get this cabinet opened up real quick. Let's get to stripping down these cables and getting it ready to be wired up. All right, guys, we're gonna start wiring up this cabinet. I wanna go ahead and start pulling out all this cable. We're gonna get it cleaned up, because right now it's a mess. So our 8 conductors y'all have seen us pull on a previous video, gonna land all on the bottom right here. Radars, I'm gonna make them loop up and come around the backside. We're reusing everything on this 10th intersection, so the 656 that's going into this intersection is right here. I'm not going to pull that until we're 100% set on everything, and then I'll move it over to this cabinet. Let's get to stripping all these cables out. First things first, we're going to separate our 8 conductors with everything else. This will be these ones. Yep, all 4 of our 8 conductors. We need to get a length on this around the cabinet of where I want to strip it out at, and then strip all 4 pretty quickly. And the rest we'll work on after we get that. Got a loose nut over here. I'll tighten that up real quick. All right, so first things first, what I like to do, I like to get this 8 conductor laid out around these nuts that the cabinet sits on, the foundation where it's bolted down to. See where it loops up. 8 conductor is going to land up here. I like to strip it back and skin this jacket off about right here. So we're going to do that. Once I get one, I can just line out all 4 with the 1 and quickly strip everything out. But just got the placement on my thumb where it's going to go. Get my knife out and cut down the jacket just like that. And go to this end. The spool that I'm sitting on does not feel that good. Got plenty of extra slack, so if you accidentally strip some of the conductor cables, it's not the end of the world up here. You just don't want to strip it down further down, because then you need to do some work. Got that pull string in it. You can just easily pull the string, and that's going to cut into that jacket. You'll hear it pop right there. That jacket comes right off nice and easy. No longer need the pull string. Take your knife, cut that out. This plastic is just protecting around it. Don't need it no more. Take it out, and then there's a little bit of thread in here. And this is kind of just holds the cable in the form that it is, but it's not needed once we strip it back. So take that thread out, and you just need it to kind of hold it so that this cable won't collapse on itself or anything. And then there you go. You got your stripped down 8 conductor. It's ready to loop around, and you can strip all our conductors, put forks on them, land them where they need to go, and we can keep running our cables. Also, anytime you scar your cable wrapped around or whatever, I like to put a little piece of tape on it. So we're gonna do that now too. Ain't gotta be white tape, but I like to put a piece of tape on it. All right, we got all 4 of the 8 conductors stripped down, jackets off where I want it off. And then I like to come back through right here where I put the white tape. I'm gonna remark it. Plus, I'm probably gonna move some of these labels around to make them all even, so they look a little better. Let's go ahead and remark it. We got like phase 2, phase 8. We'll be using turn lanes on the side street, so we'll be using 4 and 7 and 8 and 3, but there ain't gonna be a 5 and 1, but we are gonna use overlap A and C for a flashing yellow arrow that's unprotected. All right, now before I get too crazy into all the wires going around the cabinet, gonna try to vacuum up any little loose ends, messes. all the dirt that we brought into this cabinet by pulling cable. Trying to dress it up and clean it up a little bit. All right, and before I like to wrap my cable around like you see here on phase 2, want to go ahead and take our neutral, which is going to be the solid white cable. There's a white with a black strip on it. Don't want to get those confused. We'll take our neutral and untwist it all the way back to where we stripped the cable, because as you can see, this is going to come back and land on this neutral block and not land with the phase cables. So I need our other conductors going down to land from 2 and 15 over here, and our white is going to come back to the neutral block itself. All right, so we got phase 2 landed. Was just going over color code, but we use red for our red, solid reds, black for our solid yellows, green for our solid greens, and then we would use other cables here like this red black for the overlap red. That's going to be this red black one. Orange is going to be for the yellow, blue for the green, and then white black for the flash and yellow on the overlap over here. Got it landed down there. What I like to do, I like for these cables to still be able to land as far as I'd want them to, in case we ever have to do a spare conductor, do whatever, but it will split. I fold it back in, let it come down all the way to here. Obviously the blue's not gonna be used, so I'm gonna take the blue out of this, but pull it and make it nice and neat to 15 where these are going, and then can cut down the conductors just like that. Throw them out the way. Let's take this blue out of here. Once we get it all done, we'll make it look nice and neat, and take the blue out to where it's stripped, and then just go to the end and kind of cut it down a little bit, and we'll finish that one up. But goes from the side, 15. Let's put some forks on this guy real quick. And you got to strip a lot when we're doing terminations. Just taking a little bit of the copper out, and you're looking, you'll see at the top where it's nice and even and flush. It's where you want to get that copper too. You don't really want a bunch of copper sticking out onto the fork. Then it just makes it hard to tighten up on anything. That ain't too bad. That ain't really gonna mess anything up. But if you got copper coming out to where the lug sits, you'll have a hard time tightening down properly. And the white black for the green, which is going to be the flashing yellow arrow on phase 15. We'll have a red, solid yellow, flashing yellow, solid reds on the through lane approaches, solid yellows right here, and solid greens right here. Phase 2 is pretty much out of the way. Put one zip tie down here. That'll make it look good. And then I'm gonna get phase 4, whichever one I want to do next, looped around, and we'll terminate those. All right, next up is phase 4. Gonna undo our neutral out of all the twists, and we will land those grounds here shortly as well. Man, they've changed up terminal blocks. They changed up quite a bit. All right, throw the white on the back side. Not necessarily needed. I mean, it is needed. It's crucial, the neutral, but just not needed to power anything right now. That's gonna be an easy hookup. Farthest one it's gonna reach is like 4. Just cut down a little bit so it's less I gotta do. Cable cutters. Alright guys, doing phase 8 now, and I'm doing the wrong cables here. Need the black cable. Best to just tie it back, twist it back. Red, green, black right here. Untwist. Do want to make sure our cable is set all the way back here where I want it. You can spend a little more time going each individual cable each time. But just not trying to spend that much time on it. Be in the middle with it. Be productive, but be clean about it. Make it look good. But don't spend a year and a half on it. And by that I mean over a few hours. Should have one of these done in a half day, half night, the whole 9 yards. Depending, there's a lot more stuff that goes into the cabinets nowadays, so I'll try to get back to y'all in a second. All right, 8's landed. Get these 3 cables down to 14. Blue's going to 7. And then, oh, said that wrong. Blue's going to 3. Other cables going to 14. White's obviously going to the neutral block. And then we got one more for phase 6 and overlap A. Then need to wire up pedestrian cables. All right. Phase 6, need to get the red, green, black out, untwirl it. So other cables are going down to 13, which is overlap A. The red, black, and green will be going to phase 6. So get the turn on it. Yep, see, could have left a little extra slack on this guy. Good, cut her down, rinse and repeat. All right, gonna go ahead and land our neutrals. You wanna strip back more because we're gonna twist our cables together. We can twist 2 at a time. Could do more, but I only got 4 cables, so we'll twist 2. Land it on one lug and do 2 more on a different lug. It's already getting dark quick too. These are like a number 1, and I don't know what happened to my attachment, my other Klein set screwdriver. But as you can see, you can make it work with whatever. Run this guy right up through the block to the flat head and tighten that down. We do have a quad grounding system on these cabinets, so a ground going all the way around this foundation. Got 4 ground rods, and loops around, comes back in, and just land on the ground block and onto the main ground right here. Which this looks the same. I may need a smaller screwdriver to fit into this. Let's see. Oh. All right, guys, so we got all of our 8 conductors landed, all of our phase cables to the signal heads that are going to be out in the field. Tell we got our power for our 1, phase 1, 2, and so on, all the way up to our overlaps. We got all of our 8 conductors landed. The next ones are going to be these 2 cables. Are going to be our 5 conductors. That's going to run up to this PLC board, land on 9 and 11. Neutrals back to the neutral block, so it has a return source of power. And yeah, we're gonna work on that here soon, maybe tomorrow actually. Need to get my guys speeding up a little bit. It's already 5:10 and the sun's going down. We're gonna work a little late, but sun's going down makes all this a little more annoying to deal with, especially when I'm filming and don't have a very good light. But stay tuned, because tomorrow we're gonna finish up this cabinet, dress up everything, make it look real nice and neat, and hang mast arms, and hopefully get those up and running as well. All right, guys, so as you can see, got the field cable, just like I explained. Really hard to tell, there's not much light, the sun's going down. It's got one light up. I have to just go over it with them, make that process speed up a little bit. Tomorrow we'll be out here prepping up. Already kind of got all the mast arms prepped up, so we're going to be loading up mast arms on the digger truck, extra bucket truck out here. Get out here and start hanging arms, getting lights done, finish this cabinet, move detection over, get the whole 9 yards done, ready to go. So yeah, see y'all bright and early tomorrow. Thanks for watching.